Yeah, it's not an interview, it's a cooking. I also had to ask. I also thought that. I had to find. Yeah, definitely it does. It does. Many of us look at romantic past and feel glad about the bullets that we've dodged. But some of us may have decided to instead bite the bullets and marry them anyway. Coming up with that. Dumia, can you not share Vadi?
I don't have it yet.
Oh, she doesn't have it yet.
Okay, got you.
Okay.
Is he wanting to talk to me specifically?
No, he was just doing a take.
Number 4, come, think you're ready.
So, Sean, let me let you in on some tea. The first thing is not an interview, my friend. It's a cooking. Yeah, so, yeah, I think let's all get on the same page. So what I'll do, but we've got a 12-second sting. I know it's indicated incorrectly.
Yeah. I set up the TV there as well.
Oh, will I be? Sure.
We'll be ready.
Oh, no, I'll still, yes, but in terms of auto cue for 4. And Mo, please. Oh, no, sorry, did I maybe I misspoke. No worries, friend. I was just saying, I'll deliver show intro, walk across, and then I will deliver the auto cue intro. Yeah, just because I'm here at a 12-second sting, so you will just swing around because I'll be here, and then I'll read for you. There's a sting.
Oh, in the sting. Sorry.
There's a sting.
I'm going to do a normal.
A normal show intro, and then.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
Do you feel me now?
No one's ever showed me.
But now apparently we're doing this. Now we're going to have a 12-second thing.
Yeah. So please may you just show me the satay, Cheats chicken satay intro. Let me practice. To say that South Africans love grilled chicken would be the understatement of 2020. And just when you thought that our locally loved chicken couldn't get better, Tiger Brands have a twist up their sleeve. Introducing the Black Cat Cheats Chicken Satay. Traditionally cooked on a fire, these sweet and spicy skewers laced with the flavor of Asia will keep you begging for more. Perfect as a snack at home with family, perfect for a snack at home with family or at your next bar, or for a festive feast with a difference. Make a batch now and thank us later. And then we get cooking. To get your hands on this mouth-watering recipe, head over to afternoonexpress.co.za. If you've missed any of the steps, here's a quick recap. So, Sean, do you feel me?
Yeah, I think we're just going to stop at this recap. Maybe we should do like table tennis and stuff for like 5 minutes.
Oopsie, oopsie, oopsie. Oop, oop.
So they're just going to walk to that normal like cozy over here.
Yeah, but friend,
And then 12 seconds.
but it's even such a short intro.
Oh, so you think we did it?
It's literally an intro that says, "Hi, this is my name. Bye."
Bye.
But let me read it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So as far as you...
Fuck it. Let me see that intro then, so you can do that.
Was it plan page?
Take it to the end of the table.
Fadi, please speak into Dumi's ear. She wants to hear your gorgeous voice. Please show me show intro.
Use the smaller things anyways.
Yo, Mo, you actually stress me out for live shows when you put things up last minute. Please don't do that, my love. Yo, it gives me anxiety. It makes me shake. Don't do that for me live. Is she? Pressure.
What's wrong with you, crazy bitch?
Who, me? Friend, this is what I need, this energy. Otherwise, I'm going to in the middle of the show. So I'll just be like, greetings and Santi and welcome to a brand new week on Afternoon Express. I'm Phindile Yende. Today we're focusing on the pressure we face walking down the aisle to say I do. Perfect. Take it to the top with 30 seconds. Dummy, have a good show, boo. Happy Monday.
It's been a while since done this.
I know.
This is 7, 6.
Babe, what's going on?
What you want to?
Greetings, Mzansi, and welcome to a brand new week on Afternoon Express. I'm Phindile Yende, and today we're focusing on the pressure we face when walking down the aisle to say I do.
Any 4 participating products and stand a chance to win 10,000 Rand daily. Add a twist to everyday meals.
Domi, welcome back to the loft.
It feels so good to be back in the kitchen, girl. It's been a while.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited. Now, Mzansi, to say that South Africans love grilled chicken would be the understatement of 2020. And just when you thought our locally loved chicken couldn't get better, Tiger Brands has a twist up their sleeve. Introducing the Black Cat Cheats Chicken Satay. Traditionally cooked on a fire, these sweet and spicy skewers, laced with the flavor of Asia, will keep you begging for more. Perfect as a snack at home with the family, your next braai, or for a festive feast with a difference. Make a batch now, and trust me, Mzansi, you can just thank us later.
Thank us later, because now, like we know, 2020 has been hectic, so traveling has been a bit of a, So we want to still take our taste buds on a trip, and that's why we decided to do something very North Asian right now. So what we're doing is we're going to use peanut butter as the base of our marinade or our flavoring. And in most cases, people wouldn't think of peanut butter, but a satay normally is actually done with peanut butter. So this is the inspiration behind it. And luckily, we've got the tried and trusted Black Cat. And I know a lot of people who grew up on Black Cat. I'm one of those people.
Me too.
Because of its flavor, because of its quality. I mean, it actually was first produced in 1926. And so that basically goes to show it's been quality on quality on quality, year after year.
Year after year, Dumi, so much so that within my own household, shout out to my daddy, yo, Baba. Before going to bed every single night, it's almost like the Black Cat peanut butter was his lullaby. He'd be like, you already know, standard, please may I have bread, butter, and peanut butter. Dad, shout out to you. This is a way to enjoy peanut butter, though, on a very next level.
True. And so what I've got in here is I've got some peanut butter. I've decided to use the crunchy. I actually prefer the crunchy one. I still want to be able to taste that peanut butter when I'm enjoying it. So I've got some crunchy peanut butter, Black Cat peanut butter. I've got some plain yogurt, curry paste that I've decided to add in there because the satay is normally a bit pungent on the flavor. So we've got the curry paste there. We've also got some salt and pepper that's going to go in there. And another thing we're going to be using is some coconut milk, but that's going to go in a little later. What I want to do first now is hand you the marinade so you can actually get started with the chicken over there.
Delicious.
And all you need to do for now while I'm mixing up here is just skewer those pieces of chicken. We've decided to use chicken thighs because they basically hold on to flavor like a bomb, We want to make sure that they keep that flavor, and also it doesn't get too dry too quickly.
Yeah,
so that's
absolutely.
another reason why we love that. So I'm just going to season our marinade here, and all you need to do is just basically put a little bit of the marinade on the chicken there, and then you can just start cooking up our satay, our chicken satay over there.
I love that. Please may you pass me some of that marinade that you're making, just that end product in this dish.
Okay,
I think
so
this might be...
Yeah, this is part of what it would look like afterwards. Obviously, depending on how thick or runny you want it to be, you can add more liquid. I've added a bit of lime juice, which is another addition that normally goes into the satay. You could actually add garlic, ginger. It's completely up to you. Like we mentioned, you could use the smooth Black Cat peanut butter. You could use
the
crunchy. You've even got the option to use the no sugar, no salt added. It's completely up to you.
I love that. Now, Dumi, I do see you've also put some tips and tricks here that I think South Africans need to pay attention to. Before we added the meat onto our skewers, I see that you have almost soaked the skewers in water. Is that just the water solution, and why?
The reason for that is that, I don't know if you've noticed, when you're using wooden skewers, if you don't soak them in the water, there's going to be those burnt ends, and we don't want that. So that's what we're trying to avoid. So the water basically loosens up the wood and makes sure it doesn't stick, it doesn't burn too easily.
I love that. So essentially, we do not want any burnt skewers, and soaking it in water just helps.
Correct.
So now, as soon as I put it on that heat, the sizzling is going on. It's already on the go.
Correct. So now I'm also just going to do an additional marinade on top, which is basically the sauce that you're having there. I'm just adding a bit more liquid to it by means of the coconut milk that we're adding over here.
Okay.
Because what we're doing now is we're just cooking it down and loosening it up. And then this basically could work with any protein.
Yeah.
Yes, we're using chicken now, but you could use it with any protein that actually works well with peanuts.
But Domi, you do call this a cheat
Yes.
chicken satay. So where's the cheat?
The cheat is that we've used peanut butter and literally 5 other ingredients, and that's the satay.
Less ingredients, essentially, better for the pockets. Black cat peanut butter, thinking ahead for us.
Exactly, and you've got all those flavor in there. I mean, it's high in protein. Peanut butter is high in protein. Black cat itself, is a quality product, so you can trust that. Over the years, they've given us quality, and this is what we're doing. We're enjoying good nutrition, but in a flavorful way.
And it smells delicious, Mzansi. You already know to look for this ingredients and the recipe on our website. Domi, I love this. When people are trying this at home, though, all of our viewers at home, what's one thing that they need to keep in mind to get this recipe down every time?
What I can suggest, especially with recipes like this, is you can marinate your meat overnight. Because what that does, it tenderizes the chicken, and it also then ensures that the flavor actually soaks into the meat, And like we mentioned with the skewers as well, make sure that you soak them in some water. If you want to use metal skewers, that would actually work as well. What I would normally suggest for people to do, oil your skewers and then put them on the fire, and then that's it.
Voila. Well,
Awesome.
Mzansi, I am ready. Now, to get your hands on this mouth-watering recipe, please do head over to afternoonexpress.co.za. And in case you've missed any of the steps, here's a quick recap. Now, Mzansi, today on the show, we're discussing love, tying the knot, and your significant other. So on social media, I want to find out from you, do you or have you ever felt pressure to get married? Share your experience on the Afternoon Express Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages using that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments. But coming up, intimacy coach Marilu Gabba gives us advice on how to deal with societal pressures to tie the knot.
Crossing black wells.
Snap, black cat peanut butter, kuchagalaga, and a twist challenge. Buy any 4 participating products and stand a chance to win 10,000 Rand daily. Add a twist to everyday meals. Express yourself.
Marriage or having a romantic partner is not a steadfast rule in our society. But why do women and men around the globe feel the pressure to settle down and get married? To help us understand this unnecessary pressure and where it all stems from is intimacy coach Marilu Gabba. Marilu, welcome to Afternoon Express. Or I should say welcome back, girl.
Thank you. It's so nice to be back.
Yeah. So Marilu, you know the time is now. The questions that people are asking and really meditating over right now is all things relationships and love. So let's just break down culturally.
Yes.
What does this all mean?
Okay, so if we talk about culturally, the one thing that we have to acknowledge, looking at it from a South African perspective, is that we have multiple cultures in South Africa, and within these cultures there are different beliefs around marriage, relationships, and everything that goes with that. So we are going to generalize a little bit, but the one thing that I do want to say, one thing that I see very often is that there is a big disconnect between the older generations and the younger generations around these very important topics. So one of the reasons why I think that's happening is the older generations didn't have all of the exposure that we have today to the internet, media. So basically seeing other cultures and seeing how other people in other countries or other families or other cultures are doing things. So we have a lot more exposure to alternative lifestyles that maybe our parents or our grandparents didn't have. And this is really causing a disconnect in what we believe is normal. So in cultures, what I find is that religion is oftentimes very interwoven into cultures, and the more traditional beliefs about marriage, children, and even things like living together before marriage, having sex before marriage, having children outside of wedlock, these things are very influenced by people's religious beliefs, and I think the younger generation are more relaxed about it. So maybe they see things, whether it's on the internet or in their social circles, that is a little bit more alternative, but it's even the alternative has become so much more normal. But then the older generations really struggle to understand this, and this is causing friction between the younger and the older generations.
There does seem to be this disconnect. So if we were to focus on the younger generation, what then are the pressures we experience with this newfound freedom?
Yeah. So one thing that I think the younger generations have a lot more compared to older generations is choice. So even if you think of it from something super simple like what you see when you go to a shop, right? Maybe 50 years ago there were 2 flavors of cool drink and 2 flavors of chips, where now you get 100 flavors of everything. And so this just means that as the younger generation, we have so much more choice with everything. We have more choice around education, around where we want to live in the world, around what we want to study, around our careers, and also around our partners and the types of relationships that we want to have. So maybe for older generations, their pool that they could choose from for a partner was very limited to that village, that family, friends of friends. And now you have Facebook, people just sliding into your DMs, like offering you all the things. You have apps like Tinder. So the pool to choose from has gotten so much bigger. And so maybe this is seen as freedom, and it definitely is to some extent, but it also creates confusion, because how do you know you're making the right choice?
Absolutely.
So this freedom comes with a price. They say freedom isn't free. So this freedom of choice definitely comes with a price. And there's something called option overwhelm or decision fatigue, which means that we get exhausted from trying to make the right decision about our lives and our partners and love and relationship all the time. So it's difficult.
And sticking to that decision. I think that that's also something that a lot of people are challenged with, and people might not know how to navigate. So once you have found your person and you've decided to settle down, let's take this conversation a step further. Does this still apply with regards to marriage, and are the same pressures experienced there?
So the pressures around marriage are definitely real. And again, here I want to refer again to our first point, which is the disconnect between generations. So what I hear often is, people get into a relationship, they announce it to their families, and the very next question is, so when are you guys planning to get married? When are you planning to settle down? And even if you do decide to get married, the next question is inevitably, when are you guys going to have kids, right? So what I want to invite for people who are struggling with this situation situation in their families is really understanding where maybe the parents or the grandparents are coming from. They might see marriage as a space of security, so financial security, emotional security, relationship security. So maybe they're just asking it because they want to know that their child or their grandchild or whatever, their cousin, their auntie is gonna be okay.
It's coming from a good place, essentially.
It's coming from a good place.
I think a lot of people tend to think of all these questions that tend to come around the festive season and the holiday mode where we are gathered as a family. People give these hard questions. When are you getting married? There's a timeline. But I think it's less about the timeline, but as you say, more about the security of a loved one. So then let's continue with this advice. If we are at the dining room table and we are enjoying Christmas dinner, lunch, or just any meal with the family, and these questions do come up, how then do we navigate them?
Yeah. So as the receiver of this question, I mean, there are many ways that you can reply. You can give an uncomfortable answer to an uncomfortable question.
That's me, I would do that.
That's totally an option if it works for you. So my way of handling that would be the road of least resistance, because you know, if you answer with an uncomfortable answer, it's going to lead to a thing. It's going to like create a drama, right? If you like the drama, absolutely go for it. It's festive season after all. But what I would recommend is just kind of sidestepping the question, flying under the radar, answering something like, so if someone says, so when are you guys planning to get married? Just say, when we do, you'll be the first to know. And then change the topic. Yeah.
That is, I think, the most gentle way to attack such a question and answer such a question. But more than anything, I think it just comes back down to that foundation of love.
Yes.
You know, the love that we have for each other, the respect that we have for each other, and being able to share that with the next person, whether it's an in-law or any other extended family. Now, thank you so much, Marilu Gabba, for coming through. We always appreciate your advice as an intimacy coach, as a professional in the field.
Thank you, Palesa. I love being here and I love these questions. I think it's very important for people to know that you're not being attacked by these questions, but then perhaps also important for the people asking them to know that these questions are uncomfortable because you never know what's happening in someone's relationship. You never, when people are married, you never know what they're dealing with around having children. So these questions are tender. Keep that in mind if you want to ask it.
Thank you so much. Now, South Africa, please do head over to our social media platforms and let us know your thoughts on the topic. I know that this time could add a lot of pressure and a lot of uncertainty, but I think that let's rally around each other, use that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments, and let's share in that love. South Africa, we're calling on you to vote for your favorite South African classics for your chance to win weekly classic prizes. Vote for your favorite music, fashion, dance moves and more by dialing *120 *2676# for your chance to win.
Made with love by Clover.
It's always my favorite time of the day when we get to have a little fun and make you win big at the same time. And courtesy of Clover Classic, today we're celebrating all the South African classics in our That's Classic game. Today's game is all about those classic South African phrases that we love to say here in Mzansi. So without waiting any longer, let's say hello to our two contestants on the line. How's it to Sfiso Majola from KZN and Nati Dweba from Gauteng? Contestants, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, how are you, Palisa?
Oh, I'm feeling good because it's an opportunity to give back to you, our loyal viewers. Now, do you want to know what you're playing for today? Now, today on our show, we're playing for a brand new state-of-the-art Acer laptop worth 8,299 Rand. Contestant number one, Sfiso. How does winning an Acer laptop sound to you?
It will be like a great opportunity for me, and it will help me and with my niece and nephews through 2021.
Absolutely. I hear that as a proud aunt myself. Now, contestant number two, Nati, how much would winning this laptop mean to you?
It will mean a lot because I'm a student. It will help me with submitting my
your assignments, your tests, honey, and especially because a lot of students right now are remote learning and not everyone is back in those lecture theatres and those classrooms.
My assignments.
Absolutely, Queen. On that note, we've got our contestants locked and loaded. And trust me, I'll funukbawela this prize. But before we get started, we've asked our classic kids about some classic phrases that they might have come to learn. Let's see what they have had to say.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's so complicated. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Hakuna Matata. What? I don't know that part. Hakuna Matata means no worries. Did I do good?
What's the part when after you say, what a wonderful phrase?
It means no worries.
Is that what you say after it?
I forgot how the song starts.
Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Hey, no, what if a grace?
Hakuna Matata means no worries. But apparently it does.
Oh, I love those kids. Now, contestants, those are your kids. Kayla, Yassine, Christian, and Naledi. Let me break down the rules. We've asked each kid what his or her favorite classic South African phrase is. I will then ask each of you to guess which one of our 4 kids said what as their answer. You both will have to take turns to guess, but you cannot guess the same kid. And should you both have guessed wrong in the first round, we'll then move on to the next round and you get to guess again. And contestant 1, because you were drawn first, you get to go first. That happens to be you, Sfiso. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
I love that. Now, we've asked the kids the following question. What is their favorite classic South African phrase? And one of them answered with shap shap. Now, contestant 1, who do you think said it, Sfiso?
Naledi.
Okay, Naleti, it is locked and loaded. Are you happy with Naleti? That's your final answer? Oh, well, it seems like it's going to have to be. And for yourself, Nati, who do you think guessed shap shap is their favorite South African phrase?
Kid number 2.
Kid number 2. Who's kid number 2? You can choose between Kayla, you can choose between Christian, and of course, Yassine.
Christian.
Oh, Christian, okay, you can change it up. Well, it's time to reveal. I mean, contestant 1, you guessed Naleti, said shap shap is their favorite classic South African answer. Let's roll the tape. Let's see what Naleti had to say.
My favorite South African phrase is eish.
Eish. And on Naleti's notes, that happens not to be the winning answer. But let's check out if contestant 2, Nati, got the right answer by changing up their votes and going for Christian.
My favorite South African phrase is sharp sharp.
Sharp, sharp. Yilili, yilili, yilili. Congratulations, Nati. Yeah, absolutely. I share in that excitement. Now, courtesy of Clover Classic, you will be kicking off 2021 with a brand new Acer laptop worth 8,299 Rand. Now, Nati, how does it feel to be a winner today? Yeah. I guess we can all just say woo with you. Thank you so much for joining us. Hard luck, Sfiso. Better luck next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Now, Mzansi, winning is as easy as that. If you'd like a chance to win in our next week's final round of our That's Classic game, then make sure you enter. All you have to do is dial *120*2676# to vote in the weekly poll. And you could be winning some super classic prizes. Remember that T's and C's do apply and can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za. South Africa, we're calling on you to vote for your favorite South African classics for your chance to win weekly classic prizes. Vote for your favorite music, fashion, dance moves, and more by dialing *120*2676# for your chance to win.
Made with love by Clover.
Now, Mzansi, from winning big to finding out what you have to say about tying the knot. Now, Dumi, I don't know if you can relate. You're already rolling your eyes, Queen. Have you ever felt that pressure, you know, especially as a single mother and knowing that Mzansi families come in different shapes, sizes and colors? Have you felt that pressure?
Before, yes. Some years ago when women thought marriage was an achievement, yes. But now as you grow, you realize that there's so much more to family than just a two-unit father, mother, marriage-only kind of situation. There are people, I mean, so that is a marriage. So if I have a partner I've had for years, why should I have to officialize it with a certificate?
And on that note, Dumi made her, but I have to agree, no, you are so right. But let's see what our viewers had to say on the topic. We've got Zilindile who says, yes, she's definitely felt the pressure because all of her sisters are married except for her. So there's a lot of pressure and I'm not ready at all. Hashtag Afternoon Express. Good luck to you, Zilindile. I know the feeling. Coming up, we're bringing the festive spirit to your kitchen for some Mzansi Christmas cracker trio recipes. Dumi, you ready?
I'm ready.
Express yourself.
Express, where yes, it is a Monday, but we're cooking, Dumza.
Yes, the festive season is here. I mean, Christmas and the festive season as a whole is a time for sharing memories, laughter, and of course, delicious food. With all the dishes and options available, choosing one can be tough. And enter the Mzansi Christmas Cracker Trio, each loaded with a unique South African favorite flavor to impress as a Christmas lunch or dinner. Thanks to bakers, we can enjoy 3 different meals in one mouth-watering bite, whether it's butter chicken, boerewors, or biltong. We've got a flavor that everyone in our Rainbow Nation will enjoy. Wow. And that's what we've got here. We've got 3 different types of crackers. You've got salty cracks that you've got over there, and you're basically just going to be assembling those. The flavors there is cream cheese, biltong, and fig for that little bit of sweetness.
I love that, Dumi. Yeah. You're essentially taking something that is a favorite within South African households, but you're showing us a fresh new way to enjoy it. So if you would also like to get your hands on this recipe, Mzansi, please just head over to our website, and Dumi has detailed it perfectly for you. I'm looking forward forward to trying this, though. I see I've got the biltong.
Yes.
Again, keeping it local and lekker.
Local.
Over there, you've got that boerewors and the chicken.
Correct.
So how then do we assemble these Christmas trio bites?
So on your side, you can actually just start the assembly with the cream cheese first, the biltong, and then the fig. You could even swap out the fig for a sweet chili sauce if that's what you prefer. On my side over here, I've got some salsa ingredients, some fresh tomato, cucumber, red onion. That's going to be poured together with an olive oil and some vinegar. That's the salsa part. And then we've got a nice cumin yogurt that we're going to put on top of everything. But binding all of that together is a nice butter chicken flavor. So we're going to put all the toppings together and then put it onto our into our crackers here. And the ones I'm choosing for the salsa version, I'm actually going to use the Wheatsworth. So there's so many different flavors here, so many different types of crackers, and that's why we're saying to people, choose whatever flavor you like, choose whatever cracker you like. You know, this is a different kind of Christmas cracker.
Yeah. And not only do we get those nice surprises within Christmas crackers, but we're also getting nice surprises within the flavors of this ingredients and this recipe.
Correct, you know, and that's another thing here. We're keeping it local, but we're also making sure we're keeping those flavors authentic. So we've got the salsa, which, as we all know, we like to call it ushatini here in SA. So that's also, in essence, a flavor bomb on its own. So I'm going to start mixing up the salsa ingredients and actually start assembling the second part of the second cracker in our trio of crackers.
Nice.
And like I mentioned, I'm using the Wheatsworth for this one. So the one thing I love about these Baker's Snack Time crackers is that there's so much variety in one box.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a perfect excuse for those mouth-watering bites for people coming over. If you want to fancify it, instead of having a full-on stew, have those little finger bites, and while people are sitting there having the time of their life, with no wine glasses in hand, feed them these beautiful little crackers, give them an excuse, you know, to mention your name in high places when they talk about this girl or this guy and his culinary finesse. You know what I mean?
In the kitchen. I'm all about it here. And what I love also about these assorted range of crackers is that they are good for the entire family. You can make sure, Mzansi, that everyone is happy when it comes to putting this together. Already over here, I'm putting one of my favorite ingredients. I can just eat this by itself, or of course, layer it up in this delicious cracker, which is biltong. Now, I don't know if I can think of anything that screams Mzansi and South Africa, just quite like biltong.
Exactly, and that's another thing where we're unifying our different taste buds. We've got the butter chicken here, you've got the biltong over there, I've got the cumin yogurt that goes on the chicken, and we've got a third one which is also just as amazing, and that is the boerewors and sweet corn and chakalaka cracker. I mean, girl, we're going in with the flavors, hey?
And trust me, girl, please tell me that you've added some spice to that chakalaka.
Of course, girl. I likes to keep it hot. I know the girl likes it hot. So that's what we're doing here. And then for this third cracker, what we're using is the meal mates, right? This is another different variety over here. And with all these flavors we're using, you could literally choose whatever flavor of your choice, and then just zhuzh it up however you like. So this third cracker that I've got here, we've got some sweet corn that we basically just blended together, and nothing else added to that, just the sweet corn and nishawazumbila, mboni. It's also something that we love as South Africans.
Absolutely.
So to top that all off, we've got some shaga lager, because the girls like it spicy, and some biltong that basically goes right on top of our crackers here. And I mean, we talk about Christmas. Okay.
Look, I'm done.
Okay.
I am done. It's looking cute. I tried to make it even cuter by dressing the rest of my plates with more biltong, with more dates, for those that are peckish and love to just eat. In fact, I'm going to add some more finishing touches. But that's how quick it is to put together some of these trio crackers, something the whole family can get involved in. And not only that, you're making sure everyone is happy when it comes to flavor.
And that's it, babe. This is it. Your guests will be enjoying. You will be enjoying. It's full of color. It's fresh. It's delicious. Yeah. And anyone that wants to get the recipe, please go to afternoonexpress.co.za.
Snack time assorted crackers, an entertainer's dream.
Now on social media, you know we've wanted to find out how are you dealing when it comes to love 2020, and of course answering to those very pressure-filled parents. Now if we were to just head over to social media, I'm just going to scroll up and see Snacks. Snacks says, thank goodness, I'm finally married 2 years. Oh, I'm loving that. Congratulations. A lot of people right now, when you say I'm 2 years married, I'm 3 years, 5 years, people say that that's the rough patch. Yeah. You know, you have to get over, first of all, the honeymoon phase, and then get to know your loved one and make sure you don't run out the door. Yeah. So congratulations to you, Snacks. I'm looking forward to not only sharing in your love, but seeing those snaps on social media. Share some wedding pics.
Yes, please, let's see.
So we also have Katlejo here, and Katlejo says, There's no pressure at all. Only time will tell. Hashtag Afternoon Express. Listen, we've got that same energy. Only time will tell. No pressure, but keep your comments coming, Mzansi. Now, many of us look at our romantic pasts and feel glad that we've dodged a couple of bullets. But some of us may have decided instead to bite the bullet and marry them anyway. So coming up, author Phindile breaks down her national bestseller book, Yet You Married Him. Phindile Yende, mother, entrepreneur, speaker, woman activist, and author of the book, Yet You Married Him, which is a national bestseller and a guide for every woman. Yet You Married Him looks into 22 characters of men that as women, we've either come across and through our paths, or of course, currently are married to, or perhaps contemplating spending the rest of our lives with. Phindile, welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Girl, I have goosebumps just thinking of your story. And not only that, diving into that incredible book you've decided to author. But let's go to the beginning of your journey. You wrote this book 8 years ago, I believe, when you first got married.
Yes.
And then you decided, in fact, I need to document this. I need to journal my experiences. So let me know what led you to putting pen to paper.
So I started writing the book 6 months within my marriage. Believe it or not, I knew then that my marriage wouldn't work. And I stayed for 6 years within it.
6 months in, you already knew that this was not going to work, but you still stayed 6 months after.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I think for me, well, my experience was that I was a girl that was all about ticking boxes. You know, it was go to school, get your qualification, get your job, buy your first place, buy your car, and then have children, get married. So when I was approaching the age of 30, I was like, nah, this is the time. And then the perfect guy presented himself to me, you know? And obviously at the first time you're looking at, this man, we've got the same ambitions, we want to achieve the same things type of thing. But then you realize that you don't actually do proper due diligence, because when a man presents himself to you, there is so much more into this man. But the signs were there, but I completely ignored it. And when then everybody else is getting married, your friends are getting married, there's also pressure from society that, ay, ushadanini, when are you getting married at a certain age, you know? And for me, it was then like, here's a guy, he wants to marry me, let me marry him. So I decided to go into it. But remember when I went into it, I saw the signs, but I just thought, I might just change this guy.
Phindile, let's get personal. 6 months within the marriage, you already started to see these red flags, but you continued to stay for 6 years further. So what were some of these signs that you saw in these red flags?
So the first thing, background, right? I always say to women that never ignore where he comes from, how he was raised, how he was socialized. I mean, a simple thing like Sundays. I was raised in a family where Sundays is a family time. We either go to church or we cook together, we spend time together. But sadly for my ex-husband, that wasn't it. So you would clash about small things like that, then you become the nagging wife. And what does a man do once you become a nagging wife? He decides to go get peace outside. So that's what basically happened in my marriage. And it was just so tumultuous for me, and I just felt like, how am I going to get out of this? But then as well, I'm thinking that, what is everybody else going to think? You know? And I'm that girl that when you look at me, you're thinking, she's got it all right. But it was terrible what was happening inside of me. And you know, as well, as a black woman, you are told that you're not supposed to discuss what is happening within your marriage with other people. So I just thought, okay, since there isn't much that I can't do, and I'm afraid what people are going to say about me, let me journal this. But as I kept writing, then I realized that, no, man, Pandi, there's more to this. You can't just write your own story. The first chapter, if you look at it, that's me. But then as I move on, then there is more other characters into the book. So that's when I actually came to the realization that let me write more so that other women who are going through troublesome marriages, they can actually see that if Pindi can write about this, it means I'm not the only person who's going through this. So that's when it actually came about.
Phindile, it's so interesting to me that you say, in the beginning, you started writing about yourself. That's just chapter 1 out the way. But then as you kept writing, more just flowed out of you. And another very interesting point is you were mentioning looking at your partner's, spouse's background and what impacts how they socialized, how they culturalized, impacts who they are as people. Now, number one, I just want to be very clear and say we all understand and know that, you know what, your past and your history does not dictate where you're going. Your future is dictated by yourself. You are the author of your destiny. So whether it's a single parent household or you've got an entire village raising you, there's always hope. So if we were to then delve into the different people that you represent, the people that you highlight in the book, the characters essentially that we look at, what can we experience? I mean, when you think of people's different backgrounds and what we experience on a daily basis, I mean, I want to just connect with that.
Okay, so there's 22 characters in the book, right? I mean, just for example, I've written about the well-educated man and well-achieved. I've written about the divorcee. I've written about grown up without a father. I've written up grown up without a mother. So I've looked at different angles which actually contribute to that man that you could be with, and why certain things he does within your relationship, within your marriage, that are actually from what he experienced either growing up or in his social circles at this current moment, which are actually affecting your union. So it's different characters, and as well, when you also look at it, you also say to yourself that I actually saw the signs, but I went into it. So Yet You Married Him is a book that me as a woman And you as a woman, you need to take ownership that I saw the signs, yet I married him. So a lot of the times as women, sometimes we do the blame game that it's him, it's him, it's him, it's him. Whereas you also need to actually look inside that what actually attracted me to this man? What is going on as well inside of me to have attracted this man to me? So we look at those different angles so that it's not just a book that says they are in the wrong and then you are the one who's innocent in the whole situation.
Phindile, then how can we as women, and I suppose even if a man, a gentleman, decides to pick up this book, how then can we use it as a guideline, as tools to help us go forth in life, navigate different relationships, and monitor ourselves through it all?
I'm glad you even say even for men, because when you look at the title, oftentimes they think, oh, it's a book for women. But the way I've written about the characters, it's in such a way that a man will be able to say that, sure, this is actually me. How do I change to become a better man? Or you even look at the book and you be like, I'm actually doing quite well, because it's not a man-bashing book at all. It's just a book that describes those different characters and how they actually behave in a marriage and the reasons for that. So even for women as well, an example, the abuser. It's a chapter that's very close to my heart because of what is currently happening in South Africa. Whereas I say to women that we need to always stop this thing of thinking that a man is going to change, because what happens? You probably end up dead, beaten, and it just becomes a bad situation. So you need to be honest with yourself to say, you can't say you're doing this for the children. You can't say you're afraid of what people will say. You need to think about yourself and be able to stand alone and say, I am walking out of here because of what this could end up being like.
Absolutely. Now, Phindile, through your own personal journey that you've been so vulnerable and courageous with sharing with us, and we appreciate you so much, and through your research process in writing the book and just daily, everyday experiences with people, I'm sure you hear a lot of stories, and a lot of women share their experiences with you. So what advice right now can you give to women of South Africa and the men of South Africa with regards not only to your book, but to relationships in general, whether you're building one, in a new one, or you're 10 years deep?
I just think we need to be true to ourselves, and that is a lesson that I learned from my experience. I mean, finding out that my marriage wasn't going to work out in the first 6 months and staying in for 6 years. I mean, what was I doing? Whereas I could have done so much more in that time than being in a toxic marriage. So it's that thing that women need to heed to the signs. The moment you can see that this is not going to work out, forget about what people are going to say. Forget about who's going to raise my children. Something will always come up. I mean, in my own personal experience, I had to start from scratch immediately after my divorce. I left everything behind. I lived a comfortable life. I had it all. But then I had to start from scratch. And I think oftentimes women are like, what's going to happen after this? You will be able to pick up the pieces, because what matters at the end of the day is filling your own cup and being able to come alive out of that situation, and even spiritually. So that's what I want to say to women, that don't sugarcoat things. What you see, it is what you see. And if you know that it's going to end up bad, rather get out of it right now. And as well to the men, what I'd like to say to them is that honestly, they can be better men. This book is not saying that you're a bad man, that's it. It's a book that says, look at yourself, see how you can even get yourself. I mean, the chapter about the narcissist, it talks about the steps that which you can take as a man to get the help that you need in order for you to become a better husband. So it's a book that's going to help the woman and the man to become better people, and perhaps even save some unions as well.
Well, it's scary. It seems very, very daunting, but it's something that we're able to overcome. I mean, if you've been able to do it and stand up on your own, I guess South Africans and women, men alike, are able to follow suit. Thank you so much for bringing this book. I see why it's a nationwide bestseller. Goodbye, Phindile. Thank
you. Thank you for having me.
Well, South Africa, I think it's key that right now is the time to get your hands on Yet You Married Him. Please do head over to our Afternoon Express platforms. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments and let us know your thoughts.
Palisa, I absolutely loved that interview because I think one thing she touched on is that when we look at marriage, we shouldn't see it, and when I correct myself, when I say not seen as an achievement, it should be a blessing. It shouldn't be something that you want to do because pressure, because, hey, my siblings or whatever. It should be something that feels natural to you and your partner, not something that you're pressured into by society.
And what Phindile spoke about is something that also resonates so deeply within me. First of all, Bekezela University, everyone's saying, emshadweni bekezela, whether there's bad treatments or good treatment, whatever it is, even if there's abuse, people say just stay. And that's what we're definitely warning people against. But let's see what South Africa had to say on the topic. We've got Nelly, who says, I don't ever want to get married. In fact, I told my family this over 100 times before. We also have Protea Lindy, who says, no pressure at all from my family. In fact, if anything, my parents would rather I take a while before getting married. Frankly, I agree. Rather take the time to get to know a person than get divorced after 2 years or many years. Hashtag Afternoon Express. Well, I love the fact that you guys are being very honest with all of your comments, but do not move a muscle because we've got a little more Afternoon Express coming your way.
Crossing Blackwell's.
Snap, black cat peanut butter. Cool chagalaka.
And a twist challenge.
Buy any 4 participating products and stand a chance to win 10,000 Rand daily. Add a twist to everyday meals.
back to Afternoon Express. Now, I've been telling you guys that 2020 has been my year to get my paperwork in order. And as part of this mission, I've taken a deep dive into the world of life insurance to try and find out the best plan to protect my future. But whilst I've been going through all the different insurance plans available, I've come across a lot of terms and conditions that I'm not super familiar with. So before I make a commitment, or you do for that matter, I invite you to join me again on Wednesday, where I sit down with the experts and get a full breakdown of what all those terms mean. Protect what matters to you with insurance from Standard Bank. SMS LIFE to 31492 for a quote that fits your needs. Now let's get eating, Tumi. We have discussed a lot on today's show. A lot of also conversations have stood out for me, so much so that I'm going to need some more juice because it's a lot, Queen.
It is.
So this Monday, when it comes to from Marilu's conversation, us cooking in the kitchen, and just your own sentiments, and from what all of our viewers says, what's the one take home when it comes to marriage, starting a family, and doing things your way?
I think the biggest thing for me has to be that marriage has to be something you want and that you are ready for. And by ready, I mean you're not being forced into it, and you're doing it because it feels right to you, you know? Because you mentioned earlier, there's a saying in Sotho that says, "Musadi utshwara thipa ka bohaleng," meaning that a woman holds the knife on the bad side, on the hard side, meaning you just hold on. No matter how hard it cuts you, you hold on, you stay, and that's no longer the narrative.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be supporting that. Do it because it's something beautiful and it celebrates you and your partner, not manje, you've got nothing else to do with your life. Eh?
Absolutely.
There's also a Sotho saying, it just keeps everyone else around you, and now you feel like, oh my God.
This is definitely a controversial topic, Mzansi, and hearing from you from the top of the show has been absolutely amazing. But something else that's amazing is the magic we whipped up in the kitchen. Now, Tumi, we cooked, we spent time together, but now it's time for the taste test. What do you think of your cooking? How good is all those that food and that trio? I'm also going to give you a little bit of a rating.
What do you think of your cooking? Girl, that smile on your face says it all.
Wow.
But also, yeah, I mean, I enjoy cooking. It's an outlet for me. So this is, the proof is in the pudding, guys, and this food.
It's
amazing.
So, you know, Mzansi, I'm actually so glad that has happened, which means our viewers at home are loving what we're whipping up. You know, in our Zulu culture, if food falls and people are watching you, then it says, someone wanted it, someone is craving it out there. So, you know what? Just head over to our website and you can be cooking along with us. Everything is outstanding here, Dumza. Before we say goodbye, let's see what our viewers have to say one more time. We've got Ashanti, who says, well, I'm a grown young lady now, and I found the one. Him and I have decided to get married on the 23rd of January, and I think I'm ready to be a wife. Hashtag Afternoon Express. Girl, it looks good on you. Congratulations. I love that. I love sharing in people's happiness and joy, especially within the festive season. Now I'm going to continue to scroll and see what Nazreen had to say, and she says, I'm happily married for 14 years, and I hate it when people ask me, when are you having children? Now look at Nazreen, that's a conversation for a whole new show. We need to get you on the couch, in fact, and find out not only is there a pressure with getting married, but there's also a pressure with having children. And I think that all these unfair expectations just put so much pressure on us. Let's let it go.
Yeah, and I think it's both ways. It's not just with men or with women. Marriage has been seen as such a thing that if you get married, when are you having kids? If you're not married, when are you getting married? If you've been with someone, are you going to marry them? Do you think that, hey, Bo, get on my business?
It's too much. And on that note, we also have Kamugelo, who says, there was a pressure before because all my friends were married. Hashtag Afternoon Express. It seems like a lot of people are on the same boat. I'm just going to keep eating, Queen.
Actually, let's enjoy our food here before we get too technical and too spicy.
And you know, I love being in the kitchen with you, so much so that tomorrow we've got another full-on cook-along episode that I'm looking forward to. Do you have a lot of surprises for us, just quickly?
Well, one surprise is that, well, it's a festive, all I have to tell you is it's a festive feast. It's amazing, it's going to be delicious, it's going to be fully decked. It's basically all the inspiration people need for festive cooking for this Christmas.
Well, it's all about that here and gathering around the kitchen. So catch us again tomorrow, Mzansi, as we create a feast alongside Maynard and Colleen McGee for our Tuesday cook-along. Get all the recipes and ingredients list from afternoonexpress.co.za. But until then, good night, stay safe and happy eating. Clover celebrates spring with exciting giveaways. Look out for selected Clover products in store to stand a chance to win. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.